Commissioner to enable him uncover the mystery surrounding the sale of the GNPC's Discover 511 drill ship. Briefing newsmen at the Flagstaff House today, Deputy Information Minister Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed said the contradictions from the former Energy Minister Albert Kandapah and his then Deputy Katie Hammond over the ship transaction raised a lot of concern and suspicion.
The brouhaha surrounding the transaction got murkier yesterday when the French bank Société Générale, which was paid $19.5 million in judgment debt from the sale of the ship, announced it has no records to show it received such an amount. Deputy Information Minister Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed told the daily media briefing at the presidency government is concerned about the contradictions.
Subsidy, you are talking about $19.5 million. And considering the fact that there have been some contradictions and incoherent with regards to the statement he makes as then Deputy Minister of Energy, and then the statement that is made by Mr. Kandapah, who was then his boss, I think that it creates more room for suspicion, it creates more room for concern, that government will do everything possible to see how best the sole commissioner can be assisted in unraveling the mystery and the contradictions therein.
He says the revelations emanating from the sitting from the sole commissioner justifies its establishment by the president.
In a related development, the Bank of Ghana has indicated it has not relented in its efforts to trace documents on the judgment debt transaction involving the GNPC drill ship that was sold off. The Governor, Dr. Henry Kofi Wampa, at today's MPC news conference told journalists the bank is currently looking through its archives for the records.
We haven't established that whether I'm saying that we are still looking. We are still looking into our records because this thing happened. At first I thought it was something which happened in 2007 or so, but apparently it was much earlier, 2001 or something like that. So we are still looking through our archives to see whether the records do exist. So as of now, I cannot give a firm indication as to whether the records are there or they are not there.
The Managing Director of Société Générale Ghana only yesterday told the sole commission on judgment that he was unsuccessful in his attempt to retrieve documents covering the transaction from the bank's headquarters in Paris. He explains this is because French law permits the destruction of documents covering transactions that are 10 years or older. The GNPC drill ship Discovery 511 was sold off to settle a judgment debt claim from Société Générale. In other stories, but still related to the Judgment Debt Commission, African Automobile Limited has appeared before the Commission over certain payments made out to the company as judgment debts. The appearance had been highly anticipated, having been named in several of the cases before the Commission for claiming payments that have been described as questionable. The session was, however, rather very brief.
African Automobile has been named in several of the cases before the Commission in relation to supply of vehicles to a number of government agencies, including the BNI. The session, however, focused on the sale of vehicles to the Department of Urban Roads. The dealers in Mitsubishi vehicles in 2008 sued the Sekendi, Tema and Kumasi branches of the Department of Urban Roads for a total of 129,198 Ghana cedis over outstanding purchase balances as well as maintenance services they rendered. Though the World Bank is said to have covered about 90% of the cost of the vehicles supplied, the Deputy Director of Finance and Administration at the Department of Urban Roads, Philip Latte, could not say whether government settled its obligation to the automobile dealers.
The World Bank funds about 90% of the cost of the project, and the 10% is financed by the government of Ghana or through the Ministry of Finance. As far as we know is that World Bank fully paid up his portion of the supply costs for the vehicles, and it's probably likely that this portion, which is in question, might be the 10% which government of Ghana probably owed at the time.
Like several other institutions that have appeared before the Commission, the Urban Roads failed to present documents relating to the dealings. African Automobile has sued several other ministries, government departments and agencies over service cost. Though some of these agencies have denied owing African Automobile at the time of the suit, the company has already received 3 judgment debt awards. The chief executive of African Automobile, Mohamed Hijazi, submitted documents relating to the payment, together with audited reports and tax returns to the Commission.
Parliament has put on hold a credit agreement to furnish the offices of members of the House due to the impasse with the Ministry of Finance over the delayed statutory funds. The MPs refused to approve any motion until the issue is resolved. Parliament, as a result, has extended its emergency sitting for a few more days so it can fulfill the purpose of the recall. Meanwhile, the Speaker is to be sworn in to act as President tomorrow.
The long meeting between the leadership and the Ministry of Finance team, it was still not clear whether an arrangement has been put in place for the payment of the funds. The majority leader, before the commencement of public business, promised members an update on the matter by 2 p.m. The members therefore became agitated when at 2 p.m. nothing was forthcoming by way of update, making it clear they would not approve any motion unless the matter is resolved.
We have to take the word of the minister and leader of government business seriously. That is the discussion we're having.
I agree with you completely, but as you are very much aware, at the time you were leaving, we were not made aware that you were leaving in connection with this particular subject matter.
Mr. Speaker, I'm craving your indulgence on this matter to invite the House to move a motion for rescission so that House business can go for it. I'm craving your indulgence.
He knows very well that as at the time he was leaving, the discussion was not on this, it was on the security. And that is where no place, we were all here. Honorable Speaker, when he was beckoned to come out, to go out, he didn't tell any of us that he was going to discuss that, and for that reason, we should hold on.
The Speaker then left his seat to consult with both leaders of the House. The Job 600 credit agreement was therefore put on hold by the Speaker, hoping to strike a compromise with the members. But in the absence of the Speaker, the motion was brought back to the floor, sparking arguments amongst members. The Speaker then returned with anger and washed his hands off the matter.
I've come to the end of the road on this matter, and I'm informing you, all of you, I've come to the end of the road. I cannot continue fighting this battle from the time I was First Deputy Speaker up to this time. I've come to the end of the road, and whether you get offices or not, I'm not going to involve myself in this matter again.
The Job 600 motion was then deferred by the Speaker.
We should defer it and take other business. We agreed and we move on. I have to call them, together with the Minister for Finance, to have discussions with them concerning matters affecting the House. That's why I called the majority leader, the minority leader, and the Minister of Finance into my lobby.
The House then went into a closed sitting to get the matter resolved. The emergency meeting was extended to ensure the agenda for which the summons was made by the Speaker is carried out. Meanwhile, the Speaker will be sworn in as the acting President tomorrow, with both President Mahama and his vice leaving the country for official assignments. Earlier in the day, a delegation from the French Parliament paid a courtesy call on the Speaker in line with efforts to strengthen the relationship between the two parliaments. The visit is the third by the French to Ghana, with the 2 previous visits taking place during the regimes of the 2 living former presidents in the 90s and the 2000s. Sitting continues tomorrow.
We have more news coming up. Don't go away. Former CPP flag bearer George Agyei is expected to start his 3-month prison term once he is discharged from hospital. George Agyei should have been in jail by now, having been sentenced over the weekend for defaulting in the payment of the social security contributions of his workers at Goldcrest Security. Instead, He's been at the police hospital where he's receiving treatment.
Public Relations Officer at the police hospital, ASP Juliana Obeng, confirmed to Joy News George Agyei is currently under review by doctors and that he will have to be sent to jail to commence his sentence once he fully recovers. For now, though, ASP Juliana Obeng said his condition is stable.
Mr. Agyei is doing well. He is in stable condition now, even though there are still some examinations and investigations we need to do on him. As for his staying long in the hospital, I think that it is for the doctors to determine whether he's going to stay any longer or he's going to move any moment from now. But I can assure you and assure the general public that as and when we deem appropriate, if we think that his health condition is okay for him to be discharged, why not? We will discharge Mr. Agyei.
She also spoke about security measures at the hospital.
Security at the hospital is something that we do not downplay. If you're talking about heightening security because we have Mr. George Agyei here, it will mean that you are telling us our security has been vain all these while, so we are just waiting for somebody like him to come in before we tighten our security. No. Security situation, what we can say now, is as good as you can think.
George Agyei is serving a 3-month sentence at the Nsawam prisons for failing to pay the social security benefits of workers of his company, Gocrest Security, in Accra.
Also, a murder suspect has escaped from his prison cell in Bongo in the Upper East region, where he was on remand. The suspect, Agyei Atinga Dombere, alias Labesta, is alleged to have stabbed one Agyei Atinga to death last month at Bongo Soy. Abesori's report.
According to a friend of the deceased and a witness to the murder, the suspect had a confrontation with the deceased the day before the incident. The deceased reported to the suspect's parents because they consider the suspect as a younger brother. The suspect on the day of the incident again confronted the victim on why he had been reported to his mother. A misunderstanding ensued thereafter, and the suspect stabbed Agyei Atinga multiple times to his death. A formal report was made at the Bongo police station the next day, and the suspect was subsequently arrested after being on the run for 2 weeks. After being processed to appear in court on Wednesday, 18th September 2013, the suspect mysteriously escaped from the Bongo prison cell where he was being held in custody. Family of the deceased say they suspect foul play because a judge in Bolgatanga had ordered the police to remand the suspect at the Navrongo prison, but the police brought him to Bongo instead. Jonathan Azubila is a member of the deceased family.
Brother tell me that was crossed here before. This is the second time. So he have to go to give money from parents. Okay. But if he add another district 3 times. After that, just took my brother finished. Myself, I don't know if it's the knife proof this thing. So just do this. So I just separate tell them, make it if they break, they will come and do what they have to do.
At the Bongo District Magistrate Court on Wednesday, Bongo District Prosecuting Officer Chief Inspector Nelson Zan told the court presided over by Magistrate Judge Lariba Yamusa that the suspect Agyei Atinga Dombere, aka Labista, had escaped from his cell on the 16th of September at about 8:30 p.m. and a search for him was being carried out. Chief Inspector Zan also told the court that roadblocks had been mounted all over the region to ensure that the murder suspect is rearrested. The case has, however, been adjourned to September 25, 2013, and the police tasked to produce him in court. Bongo District Police Commander ASP Kwame Nimo declined to speak on record but confirmed the escape of the murder suspect to Joy News. He said 2 police officers who were on duty on the night of the escape have been charged to produce the suspect within 1 week, adding that the 2 officers will be punished according to laid down police regulations after they face a disciplinary panel. Albert Sori's report from the Upper East region.
Butchers in the Wa municipality are back at work following the lifting of the ban on the slaughter and movement of animals in and out of the Wa municipality. The ban was put in place following the outbreak of anthrax in the municipality last month. Rafiq Salam reports the butchers are happy to be back in business.
The ban followed an outbreak of the anthrax disease in the Wa municipality late last month. The ban was to enable veterinary officers the opportunity to vaccinate all four-legged animals in the municipality. The ban was obviously not welcomed by the butchers, who felt that would put them out of business. The Municipal Security Council lifted the ban on Monday. At the Wa slaughterhouse Wednesday morning, it was business as usual as the butchers sharpened their knives and got on to work again. At the time the news team arrived, 15 cattle have already been slaughtered and prepared for the Wa market under the watchful eyes of an official from the Wa Municipal Environment and Sanitation Office, Jemima Mwegu.
We are appealing to the general public that they can start taking it because the ban has been lifted and meat inspected so far is for consumption.
Public Relations Officer of the Wa Cooperative Butchers Association, Abunuru Sondi, was grateful that they were back to the slaughterhouse. He added that after the 3-week break, market and sales will be slow and will take time to pick up.
Maybe it will take us a week or more before people will start consuming. That is the consuming part. They will start consuming the meat as usual. I think that one alone is just a challenge. It's enough to get the point. On record.
Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
Business is next with Abigail Haduma-Greentree.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Joy Business. My name is Abigail Haduma-Greentree. Now to our first story. Government will scrap subsidies currently on fertilizer for food crops by 2016. This was disclosed by Food and Agriculture Minister Clement Kofi Humado at the first annual West Africa Fertilizer Stakeholders Forum in Accra. He noted the removal of the subsidy will open up the market for importers to compete with each other to drive down costs and improve on the quality of their fertilizers.
Government in 2007 introduced a subsidy to aid farmers to improve productivity. This followed a season of poor rains. The amount pumped into fertilizer subsidies this year came to about 60 million Ghana cedis, according to Sector Minister Clement Kofi Humado. He, however, explains this is unsustainable.
Now that production is stabilizing, especially for grains, we have enough in the system. Even marketing is a problem. We think that we can phase out the subsidy and open up the system for importers to compete with each other so that farmers can have value for money. Because if you open up the system, the importers will have to improve on their quality, the quality of their services and outreach. They might even add other services like extension to the farmer. That way we will have value for money.
He notes with the introduction of the nucleus farming approach and high-yielding seeds, farmers' livelihoods are expected to improve in the areas where it is being piloted, even as government prepares to roll it out nationwide. Meanwhile, African governments have been urged to align their regulation of fertilizer with regional guidelines to enhance quality and use by farmers, currently at 50 kilogram per hectare, way below the global target of 170 kilogram per hectare.
And this means that the quality, the labeling, all the treatment of fertilizer, the bagging, will be standardized throughout the region. But anytime the standards are more transparent, smuggling and illegal movement of goods tends to go down. So I think it's a step in the right direction. But it depends on nations actually adopting the regional regulations.
The 2-day regional forum brings together manufacturers, traders, fertilizer importers and farmers to discuss the ECOWAS regulation on the trade and quality control of fertilizers, and also to find practical approaches to achieving increased availability and use of fertilizers in West Africa.
So away from agriculture, the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee has maintained the policy rate at 16%, citing a balance in the outlook for inflation and growth risks. According to the MPC, increment in petroleum prices and transport fares coupled with the possible adjustment of utility tariffs in the fourth quarter are likely to up inflation, but says barring any shocks, it could move back to the 9% target range by the first half of 2014.
The MPC revealed that the momentum in economic activity had increased with an improvement in the real composite index of economic activity, improving to 350.1 from 326.1 in July last year, representing a year-on-year growth of 7.1%. Despite this development, the country continues to face fiscal pressures as domestic revenue collection remains low at 9.8 billion cedis, below the target of 11.6 billion cedis after the third quarter. Expenditure also remained high, resulting in a fiscal deficit equivalent to 6.3% of GDP against a target of 5.6%. Chairman of the MPC, Dr. Henry Kofi Wampa, explained the disparity in economic activity and accompanied shortfalls in domestic revenues.
When you have an economic activity picking up, that may translate into revenues, but there is a lag of that. And I have, from our discussions with GRA, we have been told that they've seen some pickup in revenues as well. The pickup relates to even facts that we see in the economy. For example, the energy problems that we've had, we've seen significant improvement in that. Another thing that brings confidence is the recent peaceful resolution of the Supreme Court case. So we expect that we'll see some increase in revenue collection going forward.
Though inflation declined in August, the MPC says there are chances it could be going up and does the decision to maintain the policy rate.
There has been further adjustment in petroleum prices and transport fares in September. There is also the possibility of adjustment of utility tariffs in the fourth quarter. The uncertainty in commodity prices also pose risk to inflation. Although the inflation forecast has improved at this MPC round, the central path remains slightly above the upper limit of the target band. Barring any shocks, inflation could move back to the target range by the first half of 2014. On the balance of risks, the committee held the view that the risks in the outlook for inflation and growth are balanced, and therefore decided to keep the policy rate unchanged at 16%.
On the external sector, the committee noted that the country's international reserves had increased to $5.8 billion, covering 3.2 months of imports in August 2013 from $5.3 billion in December last year.
Now, 4 companies are likely to apply to the Ghana Stock Exchange to be listed on its alternative markets by close of the year. Koforidua-based pharmaceutical firm Intravenous Infusions Limited could become the first company to list on the alternative market. The managing director of the local board has been speaking to Joy Business.
The alternative market of the GSE aims to address complaints by SMEs about the stringent criteria that make it impossible to use the main stock market to raise equity for their businesses. Ideally, a company should have been in operation for at least 3 years with a minimum capital of 1 million Ghana cedis to qualify to list on the main exchange. The alternative market, however, admits SMEs with a minimum capital of 250,000 Ghana cedis and who have been in operation for at least a year. Additionally, entities once listed are required to publish their financial statements quarterly, but the new SME market allows listed entities to publish their statements half-yearly. But despite the easing requirements, companies are yet to take advantage since the alternative market was launched in May. Managers of the local boards, however, remain hopeful.
We have had interactions with about 6 companies. 4 of them have indicated firm intentions and have actually commenced the process where they're going to appoint advisors to begin to collect the data that will be needed for putting together the prospectus or the selling document. Once that is done, then we expect the advisors or the sponsoring brokers to formally submit this prospectus or application to the exchange and for us to take on the process. So we hope that this will materialize that quickly so that before the end of the year we can have applications submitted for a number of them. One of such companies that has indicated firm intentions, intravenous infusions.
Kofi Yamo added the GSE is vigorously sensitizing SMEs to take advantage of the new market.
We are collaborating with the Association of Ghana Industries and doing workshops, countrywide workshops. We've had one in Accra, we've had Kumasi. Our next stop will be Sekandita, Kradi, then we will move to Sunyani, Tamale, and so forth. The idea is that because we are doing it in collaboration with the Association of Ghana Industries, we are not doing just a public roadshow. We are meeting member companies of the Association of Ghana Industries. And these are the potential companies. And from there, we speak one-on-one the companies that have expressed interest in this alternate market.
The GSE has meanwhile set up a 1 million Ghana cedis revolving fund to support the listing expenses of SMEs on the proposed alternative market.
Now, to some international business, French carrier Air France has said its plans to cut a further 2,800 jobs through voluntary redundancy as it struggles to cut costs. The airline, part of the Air France KLM group, had already announced plans to cut 5,100 jobs from its 69,000-strong workforce as part of a turnaround plan. Air France said it was in negotiations with unions regarding the latest planned cuts. The airline merged with Dutch carrier KLM in 2004. European airlines have been hit by low growth in passenger numbers and high fuel costs, while older flag carrier airlines are also struggling to compete with low-cost carriers such as EasyJet and Ryanair. In Air France, it would continue a policy of wage moderation alongside the job cuts. And that's all for business. My name is Agyei Adumakwinchi.
Sports is brought to you in association.
Time for the very latest in the world of sports. Now, Ghana have drawn tricky opponents, Libya, Ethiopia and Congo-Brazzaville, for the 2014 African Nations Championship in South Africa. The local Black Stars will be based in Group C and are one of the sides to have qualified for all 3 editions of the tournament. The local and more soccer and splinter supporter unions in the country have come under one umbrella named the Ghana Supporters Union. Over 22 supporters unions from across the country met this afternoon at the media center of the Accra Sports Stadium to deliberate on how to move the newly consolidated body forward. Chairman of the Millennium Supporters Union, Alhaji Guntu, who is a part of the core that put forward the concept, actually spoke to Joy Sports.
We shall do our best to make it happen this time around. The reason why I said it will happen is we told everybody at our previous meetings nobody should be in his uniform. Everybody should be in his mufti, and let's come and have this press conference because we are going to sing one song. This time around, it will happen. It's not that it will happen. We are singing one song. We are cheering Ghana Black Stars, and the players will be amazed. It will shock them that we were able to do this thing. They gave the complaint, and we were able to try, and then we cover everything. All the complaints that they have now. So it's up to them now. This is what I want to tell them. It's up to the players now to come to our aid now, because now we are going to use one song, cheer them up. Maybe by any means, apart from blood, but by any means. And if it's come to blood too, maybe we'll ask God for forgiveness, because we can't afford to lose Brazil. I think anything that we must do, if it be we sleeping at the stadium, to do whatever we want to do.
Certainly, blood will not be part of the subplot. I have to tell you that. And some leaders of the supporters union spoke to Joy Sports.
Oh, I think we are in the right direction. But what I'm
suggestion is that if we can have committees, you know, there should be committees that are going to see to the progress of whatever we intend to do, because it's not something small, it's big.
Yes, because for instance, 2013 African Cup of Nations, we saw so many group coming as a supporters group. So we believe these are the 22 groups that we think they are up and doing, and we believe what we've decided, it will be massive and it will also help and it will improve our supporting so that we can...
For most of the supporters union, some of them are not here though, but we are just pleading with them that you should come and join us, because football is about supporters and we need them. So wherever they are, they can come and then join us. And then we
go to the stadiums locally, we'll all sit on one stance and just sing the same song to share the Black Stars or the Black Princesses. But, you know, we shouldn't go ahead of ourselves saying that we've all come together.
Now, time to talk about the UEFA Champions League, and tonight, another set of results, really, and mixed feelings for Chelsea fans out there. Shocking results out there, especially for Chelsea. We'll get into all of these ones and look at it. Israel is definitely not a very happy man today, but he has to live with it. Let's first of all start what happened in Group E right there. Now, Chelsea came up against Basel, and we're hoping to get this off them. They've been losing too much. They lost the Super Cup to Bayern Munich. Yes, they lost again in the Premier League to Everton. And today they lost to Basel in a rather dramatic fashion. They got the first goal, Oscar, yes, but Basel came back and beat them by 2-1 at the Stamford Bridge. Remember, it's Mourinho, the man in charge. We look at the other game in Group E. Schalke beat Steaua Bucharest by 3-0. We're very happy about it, aren't we? Because Kevin Prince Boateng got a goal there. The same could be said of Andre Ayew as Marseille lost to Arsenal by 2-1. One for Ghana, though. Ayew getting a goal there, managing to convert a penalty, but Arsenal managing to win there away in France. And Napoli beat Borussia Dortmund by 2-1. It's another result that is going to surprise everybody, because you expected that Borussia Dortmund would go into this with all the fire, but Napoli are really proving strong. It's the man Rafa Benitez in charge and doing the thing. He says he's a Champions League coach. In Group J, we have Atletico Madrid. They beat Zenit St. Petersburg by 3-1, and then FC Porto managed to beat Austria Vienna by 1-0. In Group H, AC Milan beat Celtic by 2-0 there. Let me say here, Sule Muntari also got a goal in this one. So the guys are on fire, really. It'll be good to see them when we play against Egypt. Now, Barcelona beat Ajax by 4-0. Who was the man in there? The man was Messi. He actually replied what Ronaldo did yesterday when Real Madrid beat Galatasaray by 6-1. Ronaldo had a hat-trick. Messi responded today 4-0 against Ajax Amsterdam. So these are the results that took place, and the results that actually came out of all the games that took place. Very, very interesting in how all of this spanned out. I'll be calling Israel. Israel will join me in short right now, and we'll quickly find out how all of that pans out. But definitely not a very good result for Israel there. Chelsea, something is definitely wrong somewhere. You expected Manchester United, to be fair, to be the team that you have all these problems. But they are going strong. They're winning games hard. Chelsea have lost back-to-back.
Okay, one would typically be worried about a game like that, a result like this. But it's interesting. There are some comments from Jose Mourinho before the game, and because of those comments, I'm not too worried. Do you remember? Tell me. He was saying that it's not so much about going into this game to win, but it's about the philosophy. He says that he's working on the philosophy. He's working on the philosophy.
I hope you guys will get comfortable with the philosophy. That philosophy,
you heard him.
That philosophy obviously must not be the one that's losing.
No,
you have to keep it to be winning.
No, I just want to be sure that you heard him say that.
I heard that.
Okay, so
but I'm not too sure about what philosophy it is, because this philosophy seems to be losing too many games.
Because he's saying that you could go into the game and win, and not get so much of the philosophy, but you could also get into the game and get the philosophy and lose.
Well,
but for him, it's more about the philosophy.
Israel always have...
What's a team without a philosophy?
No problem. Israel always have a way of coming out. We're here, and we'll go through the group stage. It's very, very important, because you have to be in it to win it.
It's true. It's
very important. More prayers for Chelsea.
A little disturbing, but I'm sure we'll weather the storm.
There you go. That'll be all for sports tonight. My name is George Adi Jr. and the defeated man will come back. And it'll be showbiz.
Sports was brought to you in association with...
Now, veteran highlife musician Thomas Frimpong is reported dead. According to sources, Thomas died this morning at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital from a medical condition.
Thomas, who had been ill for some time now, according to family sources, had been on admission at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for the past 1 week. Well known for his hit tracks such as Emreno Beba, Obraya Kon, Akwentio Munsam, and a host of other hit tracks, Thomas died at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital 1 a.m. Wednesday morning at the age of 70. Meanwhile, a message of condolence has come from the Musicians Union of Ghana for the bereaved family, telling them that their hearts are with the family, especially his wife and children. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
In other showbiz news, Kumasi-based actor Kwejon Cancer, popularly called Lowen, has garnered quite a following, even though he has very little of the flattering looks usually associated with screen idols. Handsome or fearful, showbiz got to talk to him about fashion. Heck, we even got him to do a rap for Joy News.
I turn up from US States. Even in Ghana, how does it? I find Joy News. Oh, from US, as a and I say Joy News coach. For one human, DJ Lowen. Two man niggas the block now. Gamesin Havilin, Selling, Constantly, Jackson, and Patrick the Joy News family. Hey, Joy News, the film that DJ Lowen, my son, Sama Muya Bruta, Joy News. Ubetinu, who is some of course for Joy News. The wow, the sausage, the cranking.
Okay, that's it for showbiz. Right, before we go, a quick run through our top stories. Parliament has suspended deliberations of the credit agreement to complete the final phase of the Job 600 project over a delay in the payment of the MP statutory funds. It comes even as the Speaker is about to be sworn in as acting President tomorrow. Government has offered legal assistance to the Seoul Commission on Judgment Debt in its efforts to unravel the mystery surrounding the sale of the GNPC drill ship. The former CPP flag bearer sentenced for default in payment of workers' pensions is to begin his jail term after his discharge from hospital. A Bongo District Magistrate Court has ordered the police to produce the murder suspect who escaped from their custody. And in business, government is to scrap the remaining fertilizer subsidies on food crops by 2016. That's it for the bulletin. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Israel. Have a good evening.